Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. I'm Heather Lewis. Getting new and affordable cancer therapies from the research lab to the patient. That's the topic of a forum happening on Tuesday. Emily Calmer is with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, the organization putting on this annual forum. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a free online policy forum happening on Tuesday. Who are the experts that will be there?
We're going to have 3 speakers share with us about the drug development process. One is Dr. Michael Kinch here from Washington University. He's the director of their Center for Drug Development. Then we're also going to hear from Joan Malcolm. She's with Grail, a company developing a new test for cancer. And Mark Fleury, one of our policy experts from the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
And what are some of the main issues that will be discussed?
Well, one of the things that we really want to look at is how we translate things from research in the lab to drugs that patients can access. So we really want to look at any of the ways that process breaks down and things that prevent patients from getting the latest research where they're getting their treatment. So that's the overall topic, and we're just going to look at some of the different parts of that on Tuesday.
And I know there is room for question and answers as well at the end of this. How difficult is it right now, though, for cancer patients to get access to new treatments or tests, and what are some of the challenges?
Well, there are a number of different challenges. One thing that we're going to look at, and that we've been looking at the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, is the problems that patients have when we're translating research to drugs that patients can access. One of the steps in between is the clinical trial, and we know that only about 1 in 4 patients has access to clinical trials locally. So we want to look at what the barriers are to getting that to them, and those are some of the things that we really want to focus on in removing those barriers.
What is the Prescription Drug User Fee Act?
That's a federal law that provides most of the funding for the Food and Drug Administration when they do reviews of drugs that are submitted for approval. And that act is renewed every so many years. And in that process, we have the opportunity to provide some comments.
I was about to say, so what is the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network's role in influencing and advocating on behalf of this?
So we want to make sure that the patient's voice is included in this process, because we really think, as I mentioned, patients need to be able to have access to these treatments. So our role is really to make sure that the patient voice is heard in the process, and that they're included and represented in that.
So they actually go and describe kind of what they've been going through with their treatments. Is that correct?
So the FDA has a patient representative that can get engaged in the process, and there's a number of different ones from different groups. So we want to make sure that process is really utilized and made a part of the drug development in these applications for new drugs.
What are some of the other priorities being negotiated with that?
Well, one thing that we've seen here lately with COVID is in the clinical trial process, with people having difficulties accessing their normal cancer centers, the FDA allowed some flexibility in that clinical trial process. And we really want to urge the FDA to look at whether they can make some of those things permanent and issue guidance for cancer centers about making some more flexibility in the clinical trial process.
Now back to this forum that's happening on Tuesday. This is an annual event, but you did mention COVID, so I have to ask, is this year going to be different than years past, or are you anticipating something pretty similar to what we saw last year?
Yes, it is different. This is our first year doing the event virtually, but cancer hasn't stopped, and we're not really stopping our fight against cancer. So we want to make sure we can reach folks throughout Missouri, and that's one of the benefits of being virtual this year. We can do this, and people throughout the state can join us and learn about this issue and how we're working on it.
So do you have to register for this event?
Well, if you're joining us on Tuesday, you can go to acscan.windrosmedia.com at 11 a.m. and join us. Otherwise, if you want to look for more information, you can see it at our website, www.fightcancer.org/Missouri, and that's where you'll find out how you can join us.
Okay, very good. We'll post all that information on ozarksfirst.com as well. And I assume the same information, same website for ACS Can as well, if they want to find some more information about what you guys are all about.
Yeah, www.fightcancer.org is the easiest way to find it. If you just want to do /Missouri, then you can get directly to our information.
Okay, Emily Calmer with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Heather.
We'll be right back with more Ozarks Tonight. Keep it here.